And
Attends, une seconde. Ok, c'est parti.
tell me a bit more about the clashes that we've seen in Kordofan. Do you think that we will see an escalation? Do you think now, with dry season, that we're going to see more clashes coming from the SRF in the Kordofans?
No, this is it was the continuation of the escalation of this government since they came in the power 1989. Since that time, they are being fighting with the people of Sudan and the citizens of the Sudan because they started fight and also they declared holy war with the South Sudan, and that's why South Sudan is now separated. And also they started with Darfur, and then this escalations is continuing to the other parts of the Sudan and transferring to the South Kordofan and Blue Nile, and even the many parts of the White Nile, and including the Northern Kordofan. And this is the behavior of our government, unfortunately.
Is the SRF going to launch more attacks?
I don't think that SRF is going to take any initiative of the fight. SRF is going to initiate to the peace because we are the body of the peace seeker, and that is why SRF, nobody can accuse the SRF that is starting the war, but this government is very obviously, the head of the state, Omar al-Bashir, said whoever needs his own right has to take the arms. This he said in public meeting.
The defense minister in Khartoum recently said that the problem in Darfur was not the tensions or the fighting with the SRF, that really the problem in Darfur was the tribal clashes. What are your thoughts on that?
No, it is not true. There is tribal fighting, but this caused by the government is systematically this one managing by the government. And potentially the problem in Darfur is the political problems. That's the conflict between government and the opposition in entire Sudan. Number two, Darfur is the part of the Sudan. And if there is any problems as social problems or what's called a tribal problems, government is not going to plan to solve the problem. But unfortunately, government itself is involved 100%. That's who is conducting this fighting internal fighting of the tribal, and also it is a government that is fighting with the movement. And the problem actually is political problem. It is not just a problem that neglected by what is called Minister of Defense.
Is it a political problem or is it a military problem? Or is the SRF not too weak militarily to force Khartoum to negotiate with you?
SRF doesn't mind that Khartoum is going to be wise or not. But SRF recognized that Khartoum is not wise for 24 years after they start or after they did the coup d'etat. But SRF always is offering the peace means and offering also the peace as the priority. But the Khartoumis who is rejecting the peace. SRF right now established and also issued more than the 3 documents. All these 3 documents, the prioritizing the peace as ahead and everything. If the government of Sudan accepts it, he's welcome. And if government of Sudan rejects it, we enforce it by the government of Sudan to move forward militarily.
About the tribal clash in Darfur, do you think that is also the failure of the Darfur peace agreement? Because most of those tribes, they were supposed to be disarmed, the Janjaweed, because most of the fact that those, for example, Arab tribes that are fighting among each other most of the weapons they're coming from the government, and they were heavily armed by the government, and now they're fighting each other. Do you think that most of the issues that we are seeing now since January in Darfur and those clashes among Arab tribes are the consequences of the failure of the Darfur peace agreement and the fact that the Janjaweed never disarm?
First of all, the Darfur community is well connected, and also it is built as the inter-social connected. You can't separate that these are Arab and these are not Arab. But this is what's been saying by the government of Sudan for separation and rule. Right now, many people and many tribal fighting. We can say that this fighting is concentrated to the Arab tribes side, but it is incited by the government itself and arming by the government. And also there is other cost that the government was paying the money to these militias for giving them and for pushing them to fight the movement. But right now, government is economically collapsed, and also the shrinking of the economic also is causing many what I can say that the shortage that the government could pay the money to these people, and that is why sometimes these types of the militias trying to loot and also trying to exchanging the looting from this tribe and this tribe, and these are the costs. But what is I want to say that the direct pushing and direct inciters of this fighting is the NCP government.
But why? Why they are pushing those tribes that were allies in the past, fighting among each other? That makes
no government of Sudan has the allies right now, by the way, because yes, this militia were the allies, but now the government economically, when it collapsed, this is one of the problem. And other thing also, many things disclosed during the 10 years or the more than 10 years fighting in Darfur, that government just using the tribes, but they are not giving them the services, and also they are not allowing them even to educate their children, and even they are not safe. And government is not protecting them. This is the problem exactly. Even the government itself right now is going to split. Like Ghazi Salahuddin, he was a very influential person in Islamic Front and also NCP's government, including the NCP's parties right now. Ghazi Salahuddin is splitting from the NCP. And Tayyip Mustafa, who is the uncle of the President al-Bashir, he was very close, and he incited always during the time of the separation and the referendum of the South Sudan. He is the richest person that he said these black people must go, and now is start to stand against his own cousin. This is the way, and that is why I cannot say that this government has allies.
Okay, and that's why you're saying that basically those political political problems, issues are important for everyone. So you have exactly the same issues, and you should have the same revendication as the Arab tribes.
No, this political problem is entire problem of Sudan. Is not only Darfur problem. Darfur issue is connected very closely to the government of Khartoum's issue, because the government itself that started the problem in Darfur, government itself started the problem in South Sudan, government itself started the problem in Blue Nile and Western Kordofan as well. And that is why we can't separate it. All the problem in center, which is in Khartoum. What caused that the separation of the Southern Sudan still remain in Khartoum? And that's why I want to say this is holistically political problem should solve the problem and solve this problem as holistic, as comprehensive, entire Sudan, to put the opposition on the side and NCP government on this other side of the table, if they agree. Otherwise, this government must go.
Okay, and so you're not for the disarmament of those militia, those Arabs militia that are fighting among each other. Do you think that it should be a part of any political solution, global, even a global political solution?
When we are talking about the holistic solution and comprehensive global solutions, every element should be the part, although as long as they are the part of the situation, or I can say they are elements of the situation. And that is why any parties, other political bodies or militias or South Sudan armed forces or armed groups, opposition armed group, all of them, they have to be the part of this solution, because we are going to build and establish a stable Sudan.
And what about have you been in contact with Idriss Deby, the Chadian president? Because he's apparently trying to reach out to Sudanese Tahawa community to ask them to stop fighting against the Sudanese government.
This is, I personally also, I hear that, as you hear, I hear many rumors coming from Amjaras that President Idriss Deby collected many people from Sudan, especially our families, our tribes, Darfur, Zagawa, for pushing them for the negotiation and for the peace. But so far, we didn't get any in touch or any call or connection directly or officially from Idriss Deby or whoever representing Idriss Deby.
But do you believe that I can do a mediation between you, JAM, for example, and the Sudanese government?
There are different things, and we have to differentiate many issues. That calling of the Zagawa and sitting down with the Zagawa for solution, this is, I think, for me, is irrelevant, because Zagawa are not rebel. Zagawa is the tribe, is the community, is the nation. But if he desires to sit down with the movement and the movement leaders that to talk about how we solve the problem of Darfur, we respect that. In case he is impartial, in case he is neutralized his own position as the mediation, whatever he's going to do, I think we will ready to go sit down with him to listen to him. But at the end, the solution in the hands of the NCP's government of Khartoum, not under the umbrella of Idriss Deby. Just he can be the mediation.
But do you think that he can, because you're not going to accept the mediation that will only want to talk with, for example, your movement or JAM, but not with the whole Sudanese Revolutionary Front? Or can you accept to be separated and to have like separate talks?
No, our message is holistic solution, and we are the part of the SRF, Sudanese Revolutionary Front. But if he call me alone, I will go. If he call me with JAM, I will go. If he call us as collectively SRF, we will go. But our message will be one, which is holistic solution under umbrella of the SRF.
And you're not afraid that you're going to lose the support of the Sahrawi community?
I will never lose the Zagawa community because they are my relative and I am relating to them. But at the same time, the Zagawa community can't do anything. Even the Zagawa community is victimized and they are the victim by the NCP's government, and now they are, most of them, refugees or IDPs.
And your movement is very is strong in South Darfur. So have you heard of the? Have you been fighting with the Chadian army? Because apparently they're close over several times since January.
Never. We never. We didn't fought to, or we didn't fight with the Chadian army so far. I never fought with the Chadian forces, but our forces or our movement is strong entirely Sudan, not only certain areas those you mentioned. If you want to say militarily, that is something different, but our movement even is very strong inside the Khartoum, because as the constituencies wise, we have very wide and very huge the number of the constituencies in different areas of Sudan.
Do you want to add anything? Do you have any?
I want to say that the problem, the partial solutions of the problem in Sudan since 1972 up to now, all are failure, and that is why we have, or international community have to start to adopt our ideas, that holistic solution in one table to solve the problem of Sudan forever.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's nice meeting you, at least, because I call you...